Well, you know what, Roflo? I think the biggest thing when you look back at that trade when they went and got Betts, Andrew Friedman, they were thinking, man, we're getting one of the best players in the game. And I think the biggest thing with Betts, when you go back and look at him in Boston, was the home run power. Now I start to feel like, okay, you're getting a guy that can really do everything. And when you look at Betts right now, I mean, the swing is there. The flash is there. The fun is there. The leadership is there. Let's go back to Boston in his days, you know, when he was hitting 31 home runs, 30 home runs every year, perennially every year, and really driving the ball out of the ballpark. Obviously, that mantra, that's a nice little thing. But we used to talk about who's better. Is it Mookie Betts or Mike Trout, right? And I think that was a real question, the best player in baseball. Mookie Betts, for me, is starting to get to that level again. When you go back and look at his numbers, right here, 2016, 31. Comes in with 24, 32, 29. Obviously, that's the COVID year, 16, but 23 in 2021. He's got 31 homers in 108 games this year, DeRo. We're talking about he could be going to the level of the 40 home run club, which he's never done. So, you know, when you look at Mookie Betts right now, it is just so impressive what he's doing and what he's doing down there in Florida. This is yesterday. Are you kidding me? Takes one dead central. Don't throw this guy a fastball he can hit right now because he'll hammer it. And he's hammering everything. He's on the slider. He's on the curveball. He's on the changeup. But what I love about Betts is, man, he really stays gap to gap, dead center, and he can go everywhere. So for me right now, DeRo, when I'm watching Mookie Betts, I say to myself, man, this is the player that the Dodgers thought they were getting, who's the upper echelon guy, who's a guy now might have 40 home run power. Take this back a little bit, if you could, from the start. DeRo, I want you to break this down a little bit and get on in here and, you know, tell me what you see.
Okay, so I dove in a ton on Mookie Betts
because he's not a big guy.
He gets the most out of his body and his leverage. But he talked about when he was with the Red Sox and he had Tim Hires was their hitting coach, and he saw what Justin Turner was doing, and Tim Hires came to him and was kind of like, hey, I think there's a little bit more in the tank. Would you be interested in seeing kind of a hitting guru out there in Anaheim? And he ended up going 3 homers that night. And he talked about, and Justin Turner, and it's like we talk about all the time, Case, different strokes for different folks, man. Right. I was a guy that wanted to let the ball get deep because my swing played to right center. Justin Turner thought his career was dying.
Right.
And he wanted to catch everything out front. Marlon Byrd kind of was one of those first guys. Catch it out front and try and pull everything to the left side. And Mookie Betts started to incorporate a little bit of that. And then with the J.D. Martinez, I think the biggest thing for me when I watch Mookie Betts, you talk about gap to gap, run this slow. Okay? Run this slow and get me to foot contact. Okay? There's the load up. There's the perfect rubber band effect with his knee in his hands. And then pause this real quick. Now click it just a little bit more. Forward, 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 forward. Bang! Right there. The hips are already starting to go. So he's getting all his strength from the ground up, right? He is locked in. I am starting to go. Look at his front shoulder, though.
Right, it's staying
I mean, he's staying square like he's shooting a rifle. Boom, right off the pitcher's forehead. If this front shoulder was following his hip, he'd be susceptible to down and away off speed. He'd start to get a little bit more rotational. So that's one thing I notice about him. Even though the hips, he's trying to gain that velocity in that bottom half, this stays streamlined to put his bat on plane. The next thing I notice about him, run, run, run. Keep going.
Look at that back foot off the ground.
Look at
drive.
that.
Look at
Keep
the
going.
back foot off
Keep going.
Drive.
Pause. At the point of contact with a lot of these guys that kind of have this new age way of thinking about hitting, which I would have loved to have dove into, it's not hit to it. Like when you were watching A-Rod, it was bang, this hand's coming off the bat like I used to do, and it's like whoop, and I'm here. These guys are almost like throwing this Frisbee where it's bang, I'm here, palm up, palm down. Yep. That's how you want to be at contact. But this palm always stays up through the swing, and they're trying to create this like flat plane. There's no hit here, roll out of it, or hit here, let go with one hand. Those are the two things I notice about him. You can run this.
Yeah. I tell you what, you know,
Wow.
It's impressive.
I don't know how he
It's
generates
impressive.
so much.
I want to say one thing right here. Right here, watch his. Can you bring that back just really quick? I want to show you one thing. Watch how tall he is. Now watch when he goes to swing. Watch how he sits. Watch his body come sit into this back hip right there, and then he loads into that backside, and bam, he delivers just like DeRo was saying. He delivers that front hip, which allows the barrel to come through. I always say this, DeRo. This is 2 pounds. When did you ever go into the weight room and just get the 2-pound weights and start muscling them? Never, right? Because you're an animal. You're not doing that. What Mookie Betts does so well is this is a 2-pound lever, right? And what he's doing, he's sitting into his body, his big muscles. He starts to go, and then if you can put this lever in the correct position, like you were saying, he gets that foot down, he stays down into his body, he keeps that front shoulder tucked, and then all of a sudden he allows this 2-pound lever that you would never lift in a weight room, he allows the lever to work. Bam, and he keeps it in the zone, like you said, through it, and I think that generates so much power for him.
He's just an unbelievable player. Really, gets the most out of his body.
No, he
Athletic
really
is all get out.
Incredible.